I'm Bob Moss. I'm the resident professional teaching artist. My connection to Playwrights Lab came about through a former alum of the undergraduate program, a woman who had been a board member of Playwrights Horizons, the theater I founded in New York. And she's always been my guardian angel. When she heard that there was a Playwrights program getting started, she's told the powers that be, well, you've got to get Bob Moss down there. So that's how it happened. I do anything that Gene Gill tells me. And I came down for a weekend. So one of the great things about the program for me is that Todd has always asked me to teach something I've never taught before. In that first time I was a teacher, I taught the history of Off-Broadway, which is essentially gossip with Bob, because I lived it. So that was an easy class, although it was a class with homework. And I also taught the structure of the nonprofit theater. And at the end of the semester, the students had to create a nonprofit theater of their own with a mission statement and a budget and everything like that. So that was great fun. And I've only taught that one time. Off-Broadway, I've taught, I think, every other year. So the first play I directed here was Samantha Mocker's play, Arctic Circle, or How to Make Swedish Pancakes, something like that. And Samantha and I got along really well, and I really liked her play. And so Todd asked me if I would direct it in Winterfest, and I said, sure. And then we wanted to exploit the program some more and introduce the program to a wider audience. So I thought, well, there is this thing in New York called the Robert Moss Theater, happens to have, which the school, the Playwrights Horizons Theater School, named it for me, which was very sweet of them. So we took it to New York and ran it there for a weekend. So it had a kind of terrific trajectory, and it's now published. Anybody can see it. So I started teaching in 1983 when Playwrights Horizons formed an alliance with NYU, and we created out of whole cloth a theater program, which was basically all the other disciplines. In other words, they had lots of affiliate schools teaching acting, but they had nobody teaching directing, design, theater management, playwriting, all the other skills. So they started, and I was asked to teach directing. I invented this directing class, which was great fun to do, and which turned out to be pretty successful. And I always thought that this class, because it was such a class in fundamentals of directing, but those same fundamentals could apply to acting or playwriting. And I suggested to Todd that the playwrights would not be harmed by taking one semester of a directing class just to see how the other half lives. And it would give them a viewpoint, perhaps, another viewpoint into their own work. And the class proved pretty successful. Students really liked taking it. And then out of that came the idea for the directing certificate. So now we have students who come just to take the directing track, which is a two-summer program. The whole idea of working with a new playwright is somewhat different from directing a Shakespeare play or an Arthur Miller play, because the playwright is going to be in the room. The work may be in the process of finding its final shape, and the director can be crucial in that. So learning to deal with a playwright, and there's no such thing as a playwright. There are as many different kinds and types of personalities as you can imagine. So it can be a minefield, and having a secure grasp of some directing skills when sitting down with a playwright is essential. After I sort of established my cred with the program and with Todd and everybody, I was being invited down for the undergraduate program, coming down for a weekend here, a weekend there, and I would always get a little fee for something. And I said to Todd, you know what, I don't like working piecemeal. I like getting a salary and doing my job, and then you own me, because there was always the danger, because much as I love the program, I'd rather direct than teach. So I said, you want to own me so that there'll never be a moment where I say, Todd, I can't come this summer. I said, put me on salary, create a position, and then you could have me down as often as you want, you know, in the rest of the year, depending on my schedule, but I'm committed, and then you guaranteed to have me in the summer. And so this position exists at other colleges, and I'd heard about it as a resident professional a teaching artist. So I'm not on a tenure track, and I'm not an adjunct. It's a unique position at theater schools around the country. And I'm very proud of it. So now that I've done it for 5 years, I get a break for a summer, and I think someone else will take this position, and I think that's great, because young theater artists need to have a variety of artistic points of view, not just mine. I'm very dogged about mine, and I think mine is the beginning and the end, but there are other teachers who have something of value to offer the students, and so I think opening it up is great.